Hey guys, King Shaka here. I know it's been a bit, but we're back with another video. And you guessed it, or probably not. We're going to talk about a video game that's very interesting. A video game that was an anime before, but now is a video game before they actually released the season 2 of the anime. And you probably know what I'm talking about, probably don't, but today we're talking about Attack on Titan. And yes, the Titans are even more goofy in a 3D environment than in a 2D environment. I like people. So let's go ahead and get started. Now before I actually go and dive in talking about some of the gameplay aspects or about the game in general, I'm going to just talk about what my feelings are when I first saw the trailer for this game. Now, this is not going to be an in-depth review on, we're going to talk about the game mechanics, the story, the graphics, the sound, the soundtrack. No, that's not this type of video. Mainly, it's just my reaction to seeing why in the heck does anyone want an Attack on Titan video game? Let alone, why did it take them 3 years to actually come out with this game? Could have been due to licensing and development and all that good stuff, but mainly the whole thing that I'm honestly just majorly disappointed about this game is the fact that it's just the same story that you can watch the anime for. Sure, it's condensed, and they said in the description on Steam that they have a few original twists, whether that's maybe outside story onto what the Titans are, or some outside story on what's going on inside the walls. And I just tapped my mic on accident. But what I would like to have seen is something along the lines of, there's an Attack on Titan game and you get to create your own character and then go through a different type of story, maybe a story before the original Attack on Titan main storyline, or a story maybe a little bit after that's like kind of like a side story but runs parallel to the main story in the manga, or when season 2 comes out, which apparently is supposed to be next year or 2018, whichever one. I know it takes a long time to actually create an anime such as Attack on Titan, but we'll just have to wait and see what season 2 has to hold for us. It could be the same as the manga, but this enough about the actual anime. Time to talk about my reaction to the video game itself. You know, we have the trailer, which is brought to you by Game Trailers. You can check out their channel. I'm just watching this trailer, and I know I probably should have covered it from E3, because this is where this trailer is really, the final trailer I should say, was released, because the game was released on August 30th. But one thing I just don't get is, why is this just the original story? You know, they show us the trailer, this final trailer, and it has the original cast in it. You know, Eren, Mikasa, Armin. You know, people we could care about. Then we get Jean, Krista. No one cares about Krista. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Of course, Levi has to have a badass ending like no other. I mean, entrance like no other. And I don't know. It's just like, you know what the ending is. It's not like with the Naruto, and well, I don't know if One Piece even has a video game, but like the Naruto Uzumaki games, where the anime is so far ahead. And just seeing people get chomped, that's also just made me laugh. This game is honestly, even though it labeled it MS mature and partial nudity, bullshit. This is full on nudity. All these Titans are naked. They're not wearing any type of clothes. And this trailer, since I've already watched the anime, I'm just not that impressed. There's no part of me that really wants me to just buy this game. If you've never watched Attack on Titan and been living under a rock and don't know what it is, I definitely recommend probably just watching the anime itself. Now, I'm not saying don't go out and buy this game if you have not experienced Attack on Titan. Then maybe play the game so you could kind of better understand the story maybe and the mechanics of the story and why they're fighting the Titans. But you could also watch the anime as well. I don't know if this game is in English. I definitely know it's Japanese subbed, so there's that. So if you don't like sub, then maybe the game's not for you. But I'm pretty sure it's all Japanese sub, unless you buy in North America. Maybe it's going to be English dub, but you know, English dub I try to stay away from because they tend to butcher a lot of the names. It's not that they can get the person's how should I say, characteristics correctly. It's just that one thing that always has irked me and makes me stop an anime, stop me from watching an anime completely, is the fact that they mispronounce the name. It's pronounced one way in Japan, so I expect it to be pronounced the same way in English. You know, if I was to say my name in Japan, they're not gonna say my name differently. I'm gonna correct them and say, no, you know, my name is so and so, so say it like so and so, as I will say your name, so and so. You know, you can't just butcher these names with the English dub, so that prevents me from watching it. So to a game, it can honestly make me do the same thing, but we don't really get a lot of games that do that. You know, sure, there might be some type of difference in pronunciation, but overall, I feel like a game the name should be at least attempted to be pronounced the same way, not completely butchered like a lot of times it is in the English dub. But this isn't an anime video. That's for a different channel, a different life. This is to talk about the video first impressions of the video game itself. Honestly, I'm not that impressed. Looking at reviews on Steam though, they are very positive. It does have an 80%, so it's not the best game out there, but it's okay. It definitely gets some things done right. But you know, I actually do take a lot of the Steam reviews to heart when I select most helpful. Well, not to heart, but a lot of them have a lot of good things to say about the game, but I always like to look at the negative. Like, is this actually like a showstopper for me from buying this game? And a lot of it, I mean, a lot of the anime itself. Sorry if it like cuts. A lot of the anime itself is a story. So I feel like a game like this, it can be very repetitive. Like the majority of anime, you're not even fighting that many titans, especially since I would imagine, since in the anime they glossed over the training part really of the main characters. When I mean glossed over, it's like they didn't spend they spent like maybe one episode on actual training, but it was like 3 years later, you're like the top of your class, so like 3 years to really understand and learn how to operate with their 3D maneuver gear, which also apparently runs on the property of gas. You know, I feel like steampunk is kind of what it's more related to, but nevertheless, I feel like that can be a slow point, honestly, in the game, when it comes to their training, because I know they're probably going to have you go through that as like a tutorial, and then you don't actually fight that many titans as the main character. So I'm interested to see, will you play different characters? I assume you will, maybe. You know, instead of just Aaron. You know, Aaron's the main, he's one of the main characters, probably the main character. But there's points in the game where, you know, he supposedly, spoilers if you haven't seen this anime that came out in 2013, where he dies but then comes back, so he's not really dead. So overall, you know, he just pulls you know, one of your friends not dead, he's just mostly dead. But it's very interesting to see if you'll be able to play as different characters, and there's like different mechanics or power-ups. I'm definitely interested in seeing that. Only problem is the only thing that's really just preventing me from buying this game is it's the same story in the anime. I kind of wanted to see a different story. I really think it's a missed opportunity. We could have done a different story that was parallel to the main story. You know, maybe when the kids were kids and rebuilding of the wall, or maybe before the time before the colossal titan came and wrecked shit, or maybe a little bit time after the anime and the side quests that would segue, like that's part of a manga, because you know things get cut out of the manga and it's only shown in and things are created in the anime that didn't exist in the manga. So I'm kind of interested to see if they could have done that to segue into the next season of Attack on Titan, which is supposed to be released, I think, actually fall next year. I'll have to confirm that myself, but that's one thing I would have been interested in. But that's all I really have to say about that. I feel like the gameplay is going to be repetitive. The music's going to sound absolutely phenomenal. You know, that's what I expect from Attack on Titan. But another thing is that it's just going to be an okay game. It's going to be a good okay game. And what I mean by a good okay game is that, you know, they got their basics down. You know, good character design, good music, good gameplay. Well, not good gameplay, but you know, not terrible gameplay. Everything's programmed correctly, and then when it becomes okay in an aspect that it doesn't really pique your interest as a player to continue playing, maybe certain aspects or a good chunk of the aspects of a game gameplay is repetitive, so then it makes you want to just stop playing for a little bit and pick up at a later date. Another thing that makes it okay is that the story is not new. You already know what the story is going. What's different from this game and say a Naruto Uzumaki game is that Naruto, it's fighting style. Same thing with Dragon Ball Z. We all know what the story is. We all know that Naruto is going to become the Hokage and save the day, Traja-la. But it's just what's fun about it is that you can actually now be the ninja and play as Naruto and fight in like an arena type style. So you have a multiplayer aspect. So I don't know how you could do a multiplayer aspect with this type of game, since you don't fight other humans for the most part. You only fight Titans. So if they try to do something like that, then it looks very similar to Evolve 2, which we've always seen that flop so much. So I think I've rambled on enough. I'm King Shaka. You guys have been amazing as I'm back. This probably is not like my other videos, you know, my So Popular. I will be working on a Why So Popular video of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. I think that will be a very interesting video, especially since Halloween is going to be coming up in 2 months, and I am doing a Halloween marathon for my other channel, Zulu Gaming Studios. Check that out. So I think that's what I'll be doing next. That'll be the next project that I'll be working on, and that is why Five Nights at Freddy's is so damn popular. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out and watching this video, even though you're probably going to see some image instead of my face, but I appreciate it. See you guys in the next one. Later.